Hello everybody, welcome back, guten Tag, and yeah, today we're going to have a look at this Go lock and we'll try to pick it. So, this lock, yeah, you can see the nastiness to some degree here, and especially on the key you can see a lot of dimples here and also here, and yeah, this lock is just chucked full of pins, all security pins, and then we also have milling on the core, which I didn't know when picking this, but yeah, this is a very difficult lock to pick. This is a Goal GP, and it has in this case 19 pin stacks that need to be set to the correct height and to open this. And in order to do this, I used a tensioner, which I combined with two tensioners, and this is a little bit above 2 millimeters and fits snugly in the keyway, gives me perfect core control. And now I need to still set the pins, and I do this with this short flag from Multipick here, just a straight flag. And with this I can set the right side and the left side quite good. But I have to come back and forth between all the pins all the time. But then I still have to set the pins at the top. And I use this steep profile here from Multipick, the PN05, which is 0.6 millimeters, so it's quite thick. But it helps me to go in between the pins, and I can use the tensioner here as a very good rest, so I don't damage the keyway or anything, and I can still access all the pins, but still there are quite a few. So we have 7 pins at the top, 6 pins on the left side and 6 pins on the right side that need to be set. So quite some work. So enough talking, let's get to it. Let's put it in a vise, and yeah, I will do some voiceover while picking because I didn't want to talk during the pick because it's just so many pins. Okay, see you back in a second. Okay, we are back in the vise, and this is me as a voiceover. Key works fine, and let me put in the tensioner. That fits super snug, and we tension clockwise quite heavy. And then I start working on the right side with the flag. And I thought this pick will be a bit longer because of the many pins, and I cannot tell you which pin I set because there are just so many and I have to revisit all of them. So I thought I will give you an overview of the lock and the lock company and so on, and on the way tell you also what is happening during the pick. So the company Goal is a Japanese company, and it's a bit hard to get information here in Europe, and the whole web page is only in Japanese. But the Goal is actually an acronym for Good Ornamental Advanced Locks. So quite nice to see. And this Goal GP is one of their more advanced locks, I would say. It looks like it has so many pins that it can be used in a huge locking system. And I think already now on the picking side, we're picking on the left side of pins, yes. And here I have to be very careful that I don't pick pin number 3, because this is like a zero lift in the whole system. And yeah, Goal is, as mentioned, a Japanese company. They've been around for over 100 years now. They're situated in Osaka, as it seems. And yeah, lockpicking is illegal in Japan. And it is a bit hard to find more information about the locks and so on. But the history, it seems like that they were founded in 1914, and one of their first locks they made was around in 1932. So yeah, they've been around for quite some time, and I don't know how long this has been the case in Japan, but by now it is illegal to pick locks, to carry lock-picking tools, and therefore often these locks are not really tested or published in the field, the picking of them. But of course, as soon as they came over to some countries where you can pick them, they were being tested, and this Gold GP is one of them. The Gold GP is really difficult to pick, and this is why I'm not talking through the pick as well. But yeah, doing this voiceover. And it has so many pins, and it has quite some security features. And what I found interesting was I could find their catalog in English. And this is what you see here now on the screen. We go over a few pages, and then we see the actual page on the Gold GP, and it is nice what they actually share with us here. It is 18 high precision pins enabled, 12 billion key difference. Yeah, interesting translation. And here we see a cross section of the lock with all the pins coming from all the sides. And if you want to have a look on this, I try to put a link in the video description to this catalog. And yeah, let's read the description. This is an original security design that is highly resistant to picking and other methods of illegal unlocking. So yeah, I can really second that. It is really resistance to lock picking, not an easy pick. And it's interesting that they show in such detail their security pins, because each of the 18 chambers is populated with anti-picking pins, and they show you how they prevent from opening here by turning the core a little bit, and then the groove here is locking the rotation. Yeah, quite nice what we could find in this catalog. And yeah, I guess now we continue picking. It will still be a while, but so let's focus back on the picking. Yeah, as soon as you see me working with this hook, I'm working on the top pins, and here it really helps that the tensioner is such a good base. I can really lever off of that, and for me this is quite an unusual orientation, because usually I pick pins down, and here I'm forced picking pins up. But yeah, no problem. The problem more is these high security pins. I will feel at some point some clear counter rotation as soon as I have a false set, but this only comes, of course, if you have picked quite a few pins to shear line already. Otherwise, just the sheer mass of pins will block you from getting into any false set and get a very good binding. But besides from that, yeah, I have to revisit all the pins quite often. I have to change the sides left and right, check if pins are set or not. And here you can really nicely feel with the jiggle test if a pin is binding or not. And yeah, you just go from pin to pin to pin to pin to pin, and again and again and again. Basically, just don't give up. And what really helped me in getting this lock open was, or learning how to pick this lock, was that it is so nicely prepared by disc-dust that you can remove the metal pieces on the chambers. And yeah, I progressively pinned this lock and started with not too many pins, like maybe 6 or so, or no, I started with 9 actually, so 3 pins in each chamber, and then I just put more and more pins in, and yeah, that really helped. What we can see now is that in the final stage of the pick, the core actually moves quite a bit, and if you look closely, I counter rotate it carefully with the tensioner, and there it also helps that the tensioner fits so snugly and allows me to just turn it back, because just by pushing on the pins, the counter rotation is not so ideal. I really have to give up the tension and lean into what little counter rotation the pins will give me. And yeah, just keep at it. And then finally we get the great moment of opening at let's enjoy. Yes. Okay, I'll take that. Okay, welcome back from fast forward. Yeah, this was quite some extensive gut, but I finally got it, and it was even comfortable with these metal pieces you can remove to just take out the chambers step by step, side by side. That was really nice to be able to do that, otherwise complete mess. But yeah, this is how we got all the pins out. And yeah, how many have we got here? Basically, we have 7 pairs per side, so 7, 14, 21. 21 pins in here. And then these all by 2, because these are just the key pins. And then what we're playing here are 42 pins plus the springs, and then at the top, I think because these chambers are longer at the top, they put in some brass rod on top of the spring just to fill out the chamber completely. Then I also took out the core. Nothing special to the housing besides the 3 rows. And for the core, I was quite surprised to see this flattening here. This is not so nice and decreases security a bit because the shear line gets wider. And this can be seen on all sides. But what makes it very nasty is this step here. So this milling here acts like a step. You pick the pin to almost to shear, and it will stop binding here, and then you still have to push it. Tap on it, and I've felt this quite a lot in this lock actually, and I didn't know about this, so good that they took it apart, huh? Yeah, and besides that, here are all the pins. I will risk to lift them up just a bit, and what you can see that all the drivers are mushroom pins basically, just like this one. So very tapered, then a small lip, and this will give you a nice counter rotation. It will stop binding at some point and so on. Really nice security pins. And we only have one standard here. And this is the if you look on the core, the left side, then I put the right side here and the top side is here. And we have only one standard in this lock here. And then here in the left and the right side, the last chambers on each side are populated with just a filler, and this is as long as the hole in the core. So what this does is, it just fills out the chamber, and then we have a ball bearing in the driver chamber sitting on top here at rest, but it will not block the rotation, so this does not need to be picked. So the total amount of pins that you need to pick is reduced by 2. So you have to pick 19 pins to get the lock open. Yeah, quite a challenge. Sorry that the pick took so long. I hope you like the voiceover. And yeah, I guess that's all I have on this Gold P. So these dust, thanks again for sending it my way so I could be tortured with it. But finally got it. So who's still here? Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. And yeah, if you like this content, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and write something in the comments. Have you picked one of these locks as well? How do you like high pin count dimple locks? Yeah, let me know. And hope to see you in the next video. Bye. Have a great day.